Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Supergirl issue number 32. What? Why is Professor Bill doing a Supergirl issue? He stopped doing those so that Comic Boom could do them. Well, Comic Boom owes me money. I'm joking. Comic Boom doesn't owe me any money. I'm just going to do a really brief thing because this is a year of the villain. I promised I would do all of these. What do you call it? Go and check out his for more detailed information about the book. Anyway, Supergirl in the House of L, United, Glass Houses, good title for this book. Mark Andreyko does the story, Kevin McGuire on art, FCO Placencia on colors, Tom Napolitano doing the letters, and the cover is done by Kevin McGuire and Chris Sotomayor. Kari Andrews does the variant cover. It's a beautiful variant cover. So Supergirl and Superboy were created by Jerry Siegel. Gandello is the main villain in here that Supergirl and Superboy have to go after. And Crypto, don't forget freaking Crypto, man. And there's a lot of talking in here. Look, there was something that, what's his name? Brian Michael Bendis did in a previous issue of Superman, which it was either, I think it was Superman. Anyway, Superman or Action, one of the Superman books that he was writing, where he and Zod went into super speed mode and had a quick conversation with each other. I thought that was actually really cool. All right. I don't remember if I said I liked it at the time or not. I know that I was really steeped in the idea that everything that Bendis was doing, was bothering me at the time. But looking back on it, that was actually really cool. And I wish that they would have done the same thing here. Like the exact same thing. I wish they would have done that here. Because here, it's just a bunch of these two talk, Supergirl and Superboy talking. Meanwhile, there's an enemy right in front of them. And it's like they could have ended this a long time ago. And it extends the battle unnecessarily. And the good guy or the bad guy almost gets away, and it was just it felt like it filled this issue, and I didn't need a filler for this issue. This was a good issue. I enjoyed this, but it could have been better. It could have been better. And that's one of the worst things that, it's like if you're ever out there, like I used to be a runner. I used to do a bunch of different sports, track and field sports when I was in school, but running specifically. If I ever held something back so that I wouldn't be too exhausted at the end of a race, I would have kicked myself right in the butt several times. You never hold back. You know what I'm saying? You never hold back. And I felt like there was some holding back at the end of this where it's like, man, I could have shaved 30 seconds off of this run if I would have just given it my all. But no, that's not what happens here, unfortunately. So a good book that could have been great. Anyway, good book is better than a bad book, I guess. So Gandello doesn't seem to... She seems to pose a bit of a threat, but these three super characters, Superdog, Superboy, Supergirl, they wound up getting a less than super addition to their team for this, and it was perfect. There was a setup. I can understand why certain parts of the conversation had to be done openly. I understand. I get it. Because they needed this other person to hear what was going on. Yeah, that person hears it, and hell should break loose. Unfortunately, it doesn't. It felt very reserved. No, I wanted to see things actually ripping out of the page and coming at me. I wanted this to be like, Superman versus Doomsday, where I felt that there were some serious stakes here. That's not what I got. It's not even close to what I got. So the initial appearance of this character was like, holy crap, wow! But everything after that was just like, okay. And this is where I get into the idea of you held some stuff back. You clearly held some stuff back. I wanted to see utter carnage. I did not get utter carnage. I guess I gotta wait until Donny Cates unleashes carnage, right? In the meantime, absolutely. This was a fun book. I enjoyed this. Now, let's get to the very end of the book where I spoil who got the offer. And this was a pretty interesting one. I'm going to show you the image right now. Brainiac won. So Lex starts pulling on some smooth talking. Now, I don't know exactly where this is going because over in the Justice League Odyssey book, Lex is... what do you call it? Lex can't do an offer over there, but here he does do an offer. But the person who was standing next to him the entire time in the Justice League Odyssey book was actually the regular Brainiac, Brainiac 11. So Brainiac 1 is getting a certain message here. Now, depending on whether Brainiac 11 is standing next to Lex or not, determines how, like the level of manipulation that that Lex is willing to go through in these stories. This was cool. This was cool. So Brainiac 1, you should be the ultimate Brainiac. I liked this. I like this. Buy the comic book for more on that, more on other parts in here also. Complaints. There was no Zod in this. I didn't see Zod in this book, man. Like, did I somehow just miss Zod? No, I did not. There was no Zod in this book. And I was very disappointed at that, because, like, you don't put somebody on the cover and then all of a sudden, yeah, psych. I don't want no psychs. I don't want no psychs. I don't want no psych outs. I want you to show me exactly what's going on in the book. This was still fun. This was definitely a fun book, and I could see why everything happened. But again, there were some things held back. That's never a good thing. Anyway, guys, I don't want to get too much into it. Go and check out Comic Boom. He's going to probably give you a bunch of spoilers for this issue. He's going to really get into the book. Otherwise, grab the book regardless. It's cool, and it's telling a whole lot of the actual Superman story, the Rogal Zar story, more so than you might think. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.